Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to Geek Syndicate, where we are bringing the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and with me, as always, is
me being me, and me is the other guy, not him. That would be me.
Well, I'm glad we could, definitively sort out that, because everyone was wondering, I'm sure.
Do you know what I mean? You're welcome, buddy, man. And you're welcome, everyone else. That it's me, still me, not a scroll, me.
And I quite admire your coherency at this time of the morning.
And for those who don't know me, it's me, Nuge.
Hey, we got there.
Made it sound like I was introducing the breakfast cereal. Hey, kid.
Yeah.
For that nutritious start to your day, have a bowl of Nuge.
Oh, that sounds wrong.
Nuge flakes. Actually,
no.
Oh, yeah.
Stop talking.
Okay. I heard it. In my head, it sounded funny. In my head, it's a little bit like Inside Out in my head, that Disney film where you got the
yeah.
Inside. It's a little bit like that, and I could hear a version of myself going, no, that will work, man. Yeah, run with that. That work. And the mouth's going, it won't, you know.
You do. Well, you live and learn, except sometimes you don't, really.
Yeah, as my mum used to say, I done told you.
Classic. So, it's been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Actually, no, that's bullshit. What I'm talking about. It's always good that people's like default response is, how you did? He's like, by and large, you always go, yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
though it could be further from the truth.
See, I don't do that because what happens, people ask me that and I stop and think about it. And then you can see people's face going, what's he doing? What's he doing? Oh, no. And then I'll tell them.
You know, what I'll say is, right at this precise moment, I'm doing good.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
If you were specifically asking me like over a particular time period, you might have got a different answer. But this precise moment in time, yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that today's working.
How about you?
I'm in Pantoland up in Doncaster.
Oh no, you know what?
No, don't even, man. I mean, it's like literally. I'll tell you what is nice. Though I was walking along the road, going to work yesterday morning, and this woman walks past, and she's quite cute, so I can't help, just. Little smile. I've always got a smile ready, just little smile. And then she smiles back and I'm thinking, hey, you still got it. And she goes, hello, King. And I'm like, and I turned to my friend, I went, hey, I still got it. And he went, no, I think she's seen the panto where you play the King. I was like, oh yeah, that.
Right. Well, reality check.
Big time, man.
Population 1. Hey, I've got a reality check over here. Anyone need a reality check?
That'll be me.
Over there. That'll be me. Just sign here and here.
But on that note, I've got to do a shout out to Paul. So Paul's our lighting guy, and we're the same age. And so way back in the day, I used to be quite sort of heavily into my sort of church evangelical circles. Turns out around the same time, so was he. And he said to me, he was like, I feel like I've met you before somewhere, but the minute you walked in the door, I couldn't place it. And then when I was working in Guy's Hospital electron microscopy department, he was working in a similar field around the same time. And there was one other connection. And then last night we were in the pub. I can't remember what that connection was, but there was 3 of them, and we're going, this is getting a bit weird. And then last night I said in the pub, I went, I can't stay long because I've got to record a podcast in the morning. And he went, what's your podcast? And I went, Geek Syndicate. And his friend looked at him and she went, don't you listen to that? And he was like, yeah, I do. And you didn't recognize his voice? And he was like, I just wasn't expecting it. I was just like... So yeah, big shout out to Paul. Keeping me sane. Appreciate it.
Nice to see that your voice is leaving a lasting impression on people. I've yet to have that though. I've yet to have someone sort of say to me, I recognise that voice. Unless it's obviously my wife. Yeah.
I've had to say to people that sound, I recognise that voice. I've had to actually point it out to people that it was me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That shows the level of acting you bring to the table.
Wow. Just put that one out there. But here's the other thing. So I'm up in Doncaster, which is a town I've never been to. I've heard of it, but I've got no connection to it whatsoever. Now, I'm doing an audio book. It's a kind of a sci-fi-ish book in January called The Marriage Act. And I was sort of, right, I've got to read it to get the context of it. So I start reading it. I get to page 17 and the character in it goes, "It was time to bid farewell to Doncaster." I'm like, what? What?
It's too meta for this. It's too early in the morning for this kind of meta
And
stuff.
as he leaves, he burns the house behind him to the ground, which I thought was fitting. But guess where he's going? Guess where his next port of call is?
Northampton.
Yeah.
Nah, you're lying.
I'm not kidding you.
Obviously, for first-time listeners, I live in Northampton.
Yeah.
Just to put into context. Wow. I
was sitting in bed, I was reading it, just feeling slightly freaked out.
Yeah, I just want to say I haven't written that book.
So, yeah. So, that's right, the news. That's my personal news.
Personal news, Dad. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, I just did one.
Okay, good point. I just want to give a general shout out to everyone that listens to the podcast, specifically everyone that supported the podcast this year, people that have left reviews. Actually, we haven't had any reviews this year. Leave us some reviews, people.
Before the year, this year.
Before the year's done. Get your review in.
You've got a couple of weeks.
You got a couple of weeks, man. Get on it. But our people that have donated money to show, like our patrons, or people who have given us money via Ko-fi, much appreciated, because that has helped in terms of like costs and whatnot. So yeah, big love, big thanks, and we'll be here. We'll still be here next year. Alien invasion, notwithstanding. Yeah. Cool. Do you want to try a bit of news?
Let's do a bit of news. It's time for the news.
Aye. Doing a bit of news.
Aye.
I live for the news. So so most of my news is, I want to quote like a bit of Lord of the Rings. Oh, your news is full of woe, which it seems to be. So last. I don't know if it was me and you that talked about it last, that Henry Cavill had kind of announced that he was back as Superman.
Yeah.
Apparently he's now out as Superman.
I mean, that's just, it's not, do you know what I mean? People get picked up and dropped all the time, but it's just like the studio told you to announce it, and then the studio called you in to go, yeah, about that announcement you did a few weeks back.
Yeah, that's just, and the thing,
can you imagine being called into that meeting and go, what do they wonder what these guys want?
It's just, maybe they want to fit me through like a new outfit. The outfit being the suit for the unemployment line.
You know
what I mean? Because the thing is as well, it's kind of like, it's one thing, you see these things where like things change and, directors leave films, actors leave films and stuff like that, but it always feels very behind the scenes. Whereas this feels so public. And fair play to
Henry Cavill, because I saw the tweet that he did, the message that he did following it, and it was one of the most graceful messages ever, man. It was just like, he just called, he just came over like a top dude. He was like, you know what, I'm not going to throw my toys at the pram. It's the way it goes. Life goes on. Good luck to whoever comes next. I see they've got a plan. Yeah. I hope it works out. I mean, do you know what I mean? That was just me. I'd be like, what? Come on, nah, tribunal.
I think there's the view of like, I think if it'd been you, you would have probably still put that out, and you'd probably he'd been cast as like, I'm trying to think of something, like you've been selling, you got cast for Mr. Terrific in Mr. Terrific the movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you told everyone, and you'd done like a post and stuff, and then they called you in and basically like Sachi. I'm sure I would then go online and see some Instagram posts and you put some heartfelt, well, I just want to say, sometimes things don't work out. I was really excited about the role, but obviously, DC have decided to go their own way, and that's fine. I get that. There's always going to be opportunities for me. So I just want to say, thanks for all the support, and, good luck to whoever takes the spot. It's Mr. Terrific. Keep terrific, everyone. A little gun point with your fingers. I did ring you up and go, so what really happened? B, it took 3 security guards to hold me down.
No, you know what I mean? There would be a fair amount of despair going on.
It'd be desktop all shelving. You what? I know where you live, man. I will find you. I will find all of you people. You best sleep with one eye open. This ain't the last you heard of David Monteith.
James Gunn, I'll show you a gun.
Drag you out the door.
Yeah. No, that'd be one of those ones where I'm like, B, you need to talk me off the shelf, man. You need to talk me off the edge. Just, I'd have been vexed.
Yeah.
And again, exactly as you say, the public nature of it.
Yeah. I mean, the reasoning is apparently like, so James Gunn is writing another Superman movie for their big kind of relaunch of everything. And I could do a whole podcast on like, do we really need to start off with another Superman movie? But anyway,
oh, mate, that was literally my first thought. But like you said, we've been there.
Yeah. And then he was kind of like, they want to do a story with like a younger Superman. So for that, Henry Cavill isn't going to fit. But I almost was like, well, couldn't you have done it so like it started off with him as an older Superman, just to kind of hand it over almost, and then you get the younger Superman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But also as well, I'm kind of like just.
It doesn't sound fresh, does it? Because it's like
no, it just. I mean, the thing is, obviously, it's early days. We haven't seen anything. We've not seen a script. No one's been cast. So it's very early days. You know what I mean? But just the concept of. So it's just going to be like a young Superman in his early days. I'm just like, oh, okay. It could be great once, but I'm just as a concept, I'm just not excited at the moment.
Well, this is why I wasn't excited when they brought the Batman out. I had no intention of seeing that in the cinema, and it was only because I was on tour, staying with some people I knew, and the woman who lives there was like, "Why aren't you and Ian go see Batman?" I went, "Okay, I'm here now. Got company, I'll go and see it." But I loved the Batman, but I'm like, I had so much Batman. It's why I wasn't excited when Tom Holland's Spider-Man came out, because I was like, Spider-Man again. And immediately I liked it, and Tom Holland's take is great. But I was like, here we go again on these characters. Let's think about when Marvel started, yeah? What was the first Marvel movie that you took seriously? Blade. Who knew who he was?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Iron Man, he wasn't. I mean, lots of people, everyone knows who he is now, but
it did when Iron Man came out. A lot of people did, unless you were a comic reader. Most people didn't know who Iron Man was.
I mean, the whole point being, why have we got to retread the familiar again? So there's going to be another Superman origin film. There's going to be another. If we're going young, there's going to be another Batman origin film. And I'm like,
well, I mean, I think I was looking on his Twitter feed, the James Gunn dude, and I think someone said, "Please tell me this isn't another origin story," and he said, "No way."
Oh, okay.
That could be, So I'm kind of like, okay, so it's obviously going to be, a Superman, a younger Superman. So, which in one respect I get, because obviously you want the universe to be, to continue for years and all that. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm always excited to see a kind of a superhero film. Do you know what I mean? I always have a certain degree of excitement, but. Whereas if you told me you were doing
Mr. Terrific the movie,
or The Question the movie, or what I mean, what was his name? He was like the cowboy dude that was voiced by Nathan Fillion.
Vigilante.
Yeah. Just someone random. If you said to me you were going to do that, then my excitement level would be a 9 as opposed to a 5.
Because even if it ended up being rubbish, it couldn't help being fresh because it hasn't been done.
Exactly. But for me to get excited about another take on Superman, it's just not happening at the moment. Even if it is done by a guy who's done some, he's done some interesting takes on things. But it's just, for me, it's just going to be, this is James Gunn's take on Superman, this is James Gunn's take on Lex Luthor, and it's just kind of like, but I've seen this done. I'm interested to see what because apparently they're putting together their kind of plan for it, and I think
this is ready. The thing, because is this? So there's a couple of things there. I mean, this comes in the wake of the whole Batgirl debacle.
Yeah,
so and it's just the level of we're gonna do this, and at the last minute, going, no, we're not. it kind of doesn't fill you with confidence. No, I'm more than happy to be proved wrong. More than happy. Here's a question for you: does DC actually need a plan, or was this or do you like the scattergun sort of method of just bringing out a movie here, a movie there, and they're not having necessarily be linked?
I personally, part of the problem with DC at the moment is they keep trying to ape Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It feels a little bit like it's two neighbors, and like one neighbor's got this like lush garden and stuff like this, and this other neighbor's got like a decent garden. He's got some lovely roses and shit like that, but he keeps looking over at the other guy's fence and going, yeah, but his one's so much better. Right, I'm going to dig all this up and I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try some different manure and see what he's doing. Yeah. And it just feels like they're constantly trying to reinvent themselves, but reinvent themselves in a similar fashion to Marvel, where it's kind of like I think the way to kind of do it now is to be brave.
Yeah.
And when
take risks.
When DC have kind of taken risks and stuff, like Peacemaker and all that sort of stuff, and like the later Suicide Squad one, not the first one, you know, they're good properties. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I sort of think that
and like the first season of Titans was amazing.
Yeah.
The Swamp Thing was great. I still don't understand why it got cancelled. And Doom Patrol's fantastic. And they're all things that are out there. And
I've not watched it, but like that Stargirl is DC, isn't it?
Yeah, that was more popular. I watched the first season and I never went back. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't brilliant. But the feedback I've seen says that, the second season got quite good.
Yeah.
So,
I would have been more excited. I mean, in my mind, the fact that they've said they're doing a Superman movie and the fact that the other bit of news is it looks like Wonder Woman 3 ain't happening leads me to think that their kind of plan is going to be basically the Trinity again.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So I just
I'm like you say, I'm up for superhero movies, but I'm not excited.
Yeah, I want to give them the benefit. I think what they said was we will hear in the new year.
And you know what? I'm up for a plan, but to quote you, not if it just apes Marvel again.
I'm interested to see what they come with. Do you know what I mean? But I also think, I personally think, they should just be knocking out solo movies with the occasional 2-movie crossover, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's such a hill to climb, and I think because they're going to completely trash the sort of Snyderverse stuff to kind of start again. All of them years. Do you know what I mean? You're going to start it all up again. So I just feel like you're better off just doing little solo movies, different genres, different types of movies.
Yeah, different types.
And just run it like that, rather than trying to how can we make a cohesive universe and stuff like that. I don't know if you need to.
No. It's the aping thing again, isn't it? Especially as, there was, I was not up for the Snyderverse when it started. I wasn't up for the dark and gritty. Like, I remember that Superman, I was like, it's not the Superman I wanted, but it's the Superman I got, and I'm all right with it. And then I bought in, when I started to watch all the director's cuts and whatever, I bought into the Snyderverse and I saw where it was going. And what I liked about it was utterly different from Marvel. Totally different. Even the way they did, like Marvel will always do their after sort of post-credit scenes, and DC's way, the Snyderverse way of prepping for the next film was to make it a vision within the movie, which I thought was genius, because you're not copying that post-credit thing that Marvel got a handle on. Did it your own way, and I was like, okay, I see what's happening. That's nice. And I just get really annoyed because you get people going, I don't need this grim, dark Snyderverse. Then the same minute, you see the same people going, I love Andor because it's grim and dark. And I'm like, I just want to, you know what I mean? I consider myself a pacifist, but it just makes me want to slap a man.
I think, like you said, and then we could do, and maybe I think we will take a look back at the Snyderverse and maybe get Preston on for that, because he's like a big fan of DC stuff, and we've kind of circled around that. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, and I've already gone on record on saying that I enjoyed the Snyderverse film. End of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of liked where it was, especially when you were watching like the the extra cut versions and stuff like that. I kind of quite liked where it was going.
Only if you watch the extra direct. You know what I mean? The cut versions, just the theatrical versions, did not work, and I could see why people were down on it. But once you got the director's cuts, it was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, and and even like like you were saying about, like, some people have kind of said, I didn't like Superman because it's a bit too grim, blah blah blah. But then loads of people loved the Kingdom Come comic,
which was as grim as it gets.
Yeah. And I found in some ways the tone was kind of a similar tone.
Mm-hmm.
But I've still got issues with the whole, Man of Steel was grim and blah blah. I could argue with that and go go and watch the flying scene. Do you know what I mean? And then come back and we'll have a conversation. Anywho, do you know what? No, let's move on to it. That was, because I think that we've kind of rinsed to the DCE.
Yeah. It's time for the week that was.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say I saw a film. Oh, I forgot what it was. That doesn't bode well, does it?
That sounds great.
The hell was it? Okay, I'm going to start off because people have been telling me to get on this for a while, and so I'm sitting in my digs, and I thought I had to do some stuff to my hair, and I thought, but I don't want to be up long, so what can I do? Hey, this thing's about 20 minutes, whatever. Attack on Titan.
Oh yes, I heard you mention this on the forum.
Yeah, so it started as a manga and became an anime, and there was lots of it. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. So I got some advice, and they said just look at season 1. But there are movies there's spin-offs. I'm like, I don't know. So I just started season 1. So I got this thing up here. The opening credits my head was spinning. I was like,
really?
The hell's going on? This world is, I mean, it's one of those things where this world is grim and it's bleak, but it doesn't feel it. I don't know why. It still feels kind of colourful and kind of full of hope. But it's not.
It's a trap.
So basically, like 100 years ago, these Titans appeared with just giant human-like creatures.
Right.
And they don't seem very intelligent. They just walk around eating people. But there was like thousands of them. So basically, all that was left of humanity walled itself in within this huge city, and it had 3 huge walls, like, I don't know, 60 foot tall, something like that. So that was too big for even the Titans to get over. And it's been 100 years, and their culture's blossomed within the city walls. And then, so Attack on Titan begins like, you're in the city, and then after, it's 100 years since there's been any successful attack from the Titans. And this huge, colossal Titan, I mean, big, even for Titans, appears and just smashes down the wall. And then all the other Titans rush in and start eating people. And so they have to retreat behind the second wall. And you've got these people who are trained in fighting Titans, and they've got this 3D gear, which they can just, it kind of shoots them in the air, and they got these straps that come out and like cling to the wall, and they can do 3D maneuvers around the Titans, because the only way to kill them is by slicing one spot in the back of their necks. You get them anywhere else, they just regenerate. Yeah, basically, I can't say anything else without spoiling it, but literally everything goes to shit in a handbasket, and then it does it again. And I'm thinking, come on, yeah, the heroes have got it. Oh, okay. No, they haven't. Did not see that coming. Whoa, did not. I spent a lot of time going, did not see that coming. And the choreography is amazing. The choreography is brilliant. It's just, I'm 7 episodes in now.
So
my brain is reeling.
Is this on Netflix?
No.
Okay.
This is on Crunchyroll.
What? You just making up words there.
I genuinely wish I was.
What the hell is Crunchyroll? Other than
it's an anime streaming site.
Wow. So it's not on Netflix in any shape or form, then?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's on Amazon Prime, but you got to buy it.
Well, then it's not on Amazon Prime, is it?
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
So
mean?
with Crunchyroll, I mean, I don't know if Crunchyroll's above board or whatever, but it's just blatantly out there, and you can watch it. And if you sign up to the premium service, there's no ads.
Right.
And ads are annoying. I'll be honest. They only come twice, at the beginning and at the end, but they last long.
But at the end, but each ad's like 5 minutes long.
Oh man, no, seriously.
Oh damn. Okay.
You get about 5 ads in one go, and they're each about a minute and a half long.
Right.
So that happens after the beginning credits and before the end credits.
Do you know what? Just as a quick side note, right? My problem with I don't have a problem with ads on streaming services if I don't have to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My problem I have now is at least when you watch something on TV and you get ads, the ads are different.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. You've seen the ads like 107 times. Yeah, yeah.
It gets to the point of I almost want to just go out and buy the thing just so I could tell people, could you just stop? I've bought it now. Could you just stop sending me the ads? Just pick a different ad.
Yeah. Oh man. But no, I can't recommend. I'm like, get on it, man.
Really?
Get on Attack on Titan. And I'm like, why did I wait so long? Because I was just. Okay. I can't even say anything without spoiling it, because some of the things that happened, I was just in shock. I mean, right from the get-go, you're just like, oh no, there's some trauma there, man.
All right. To keep the thing going, I want to do a comic. I think I've talked about the Icarus Society before, haven't I?
About the what?
This is Prodigy. I've talked about Prodigy before. This is the one with Edison Crane, who's the world's smartest man.
Okay, yeah.
So this is the Volume 2 story, which is the Icarus Society. So I just wanted to quickly say, so the blurb for that is, Edison Crane is the world's smartest man, but what happens when he's targeted by an entire club of geniuses who fly too close to the sun? Meet the Icarus Society. Loved it.
Oh, okay. Was that the end of the review?
Yeah. Just wanted to quickly, because that was the one I wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to say, yeah, absolutely loved it. Were worth picking up. Anyway, the one I wanted to talk about is called Once and Future.
Okay.
Which Ant had picked up the hardback, which was lovely looking, at Thought Bubble, and
oh yes.
Yeah, and it was basically there was only one hardback left, and I picked up some. I think I picked up Injection, and I said to Ant, "Go and you picked that up because I'm not sure and whatever." So he picked up. Man, so I've got the first volume on my Kindle or whatever, and I so wish I'd bought it now.
Really?
So this is, the blurb is, when a group of nationalists use an ancient artifact to bring a villain from Arthurian myth back from the dead, retired monster hunter Bridget Maguire pulls her unsuspecting grandson Duncan, a museum creator, into a world of magic and mysticism to defeat a legendary threat. Now the two must navigate the complicated history of the Maguire family, all while combating deadly secrets of England's past that threaten his very future. This is by Kieran Gillian.
Oh, yeah.
And the art is by Dan Mora. And I wish they'd do this sometimes and put the actual letter on, because I haven't got the comic in front of me.
Mm.
But what I will do is I'll put the letter on the show notes as well. Yeah, loved it. I thought the art was lovely. I thought the story was really good, really interesting take on King Arthur.
Mm. I kind of got supernatural vibes from what you were saying with the whole family connection,
and that's a pretty good read. Once it's a kind of supernatural with a little bit of Buffy thrown in, but leaning more towards kind of supernatural. And the Gran is she's just boom.
Nice.
The Gran Bridget Maguire, she's just hardcore. Her, and is it when it's a mild spoiler, but when she's kind of in the old people's home, and I think there's a bit where one of the men in one of the older men in the old people wants to change the channel, and she's like, "Yeah, you can change the channel on TV if you like." It's something like if you like keeping the use of your hands or something like that, you go right ahead. It's like you go right ahead, Derry, if you still want to keep the use of your hands. Honestly, yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. So I've kind of what I've noticed, Amazon do this sort of cheeky thing now, where if you've got, I think it's Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
What they've done is, I think I I can't remember if I bought the first one, if the first one was on Kindle Unlimited. I think I had to buy it. Oh no, I bought it in the Black Friday. It was going for like really cheap, so I picked it up to check it out. Loved it. Volume 3, you can read on Kindle Unlimited, but Volume 2, Volume 2 you have to buy, and Volume 1 you have to buy. And I was kind of like, it's a bit weird.
Because usually they give you the first one to get you into it, and then you got to buy the rest, which I can see. That's what you call a lost leader in business. I can see that, but having the third one free, that seems a bit weird because that wouldn't inspire me to get it because I haven't had a sample of it. I'm only interested now because you told me.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's kind of where I was coming from as well. And it was only because, like I said, they dropped the price a bit of it, and I thought, I'm gonna take a punt. Loved it, and then I've obviously bought some of the other volumes. I've not read them yet, but I bought them like full price because I really enjoyed the first one. I think it's 5. I think Volume 5 might have just come out, but I can't. It may well be that there's. Yeah, so there's currently looks like 3 volumes out.
What's it called again?
Once and Future.
Cool.
Volume 1, the King is Undead.
Cool. All right. On it. So mind you, I've still got a whole heap of comics from Thought Bubble. I ain't even started yet.
Yeah, likewise. So. I wanted to give a quick mention because I think I mentioned it on Status and Barry, but I haven't mentioned it here. I read I picked up that comic called the Our Final Halloween.
Yep. I've got that. I've read that. I've read that.
Man, I loved it, man. I loved it.
Great. It's great.
Quality comic, man.
Great. So just people to know, 5 teenagers come to in a room covered in blood with no memory of how they got there.
Just quality.
That's how it starts, and then the countdown to their final Halloween begins.
Yeah.
So it's good. And it's really interesting how it spans the time of a year.
Yes, yeah, and there's some really clever double page. There's a double page spread where it's like a year planner.
Mm. They've got a group planner.
Yeah, and it's like the investigation and I really, really enjoyed that comic. But did you know that he's done they've done like an album for it, like a soundtrack?
No.
Yeah, he gave.
I love it when people do stuff like that.
Yeah, he gave me the link for it, and I don't know. I sent him a message, but he hasn't come back to me because I don't know if this was something maybe they did it as part because it was originally a Kickstarter, and originally he told me it was only going to be one issue, like a self-contained thing, which you can see when you read the first issue.
Mm.
But they loved it so much they decided to sort of carry it on. But I've listened to the album now, and it is proper Monts.
Okay, all right.
It's like it's like they rang up John Carpenter and it's like, "You busy, mate? Do you want to score this for us? Yeah, I could do that for you."
All right, I'm on that. I need that link. What was quite funny is I popped home from Doncaster and I brought that back with me because I thought I'm going to bring back the comics I've read, so I'm not burdened down. And we was just sitting around in the thing, just chilling out. And Alana, my eldest, grabbed one of the comics to look at it and my little one, my 4-year-old, grabbed something else, and I just didn't notice. And when I did notice, she's sitting on the sofa with this look of terror on her face, leafing through Our Final Halloween. And I was like, no. But I had to take a picture first, and I tagged the author in it
right.
And he was like, looking forward to her review. I was like, zoom in and look at her face. Here's your review right there.
Perhaps this is not age appropriate.
Yeah, this is a harrowing experience for my 4-year-old. I'm gonna have to send you the picture. It's hilarious, man.
Yeah, you must do, man.
So Paramount Plus had a Black Friday sale, which was like literally 50% off for a year's subscription.
Yeah.
So I thought, it's got a whole heap of Star Trek stuff in it that I wanted to catch up on and stuff. And I thought maybe I'll finally get around to watching all of Deep Space Nine. I don't know. But so I got it. Right. And I just thought, do you know what? I'd heard tell, but I'd never seen anything about it or even looked into it slightly, with Star Trek Prodigy.
This is the cartoon one, isn't it?
It's the cartoon.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Really?
I'm all over it. Because it's, when you talk about a fresh take, it's different. Because it's about a bunch of kids on this prison planet who kind of escape and they find an abandoned Federation starship and they want to go back to the Federation. They want to try and but they're like out in the depths of the Delta Quadrant. and they want to get back. But the hologram that's helping them is Janeway, and it's actually voiced by Janeway.
Oh, okay.
And then something happens, which means they can't go back. But Janeway's gone out hunting for this ship because it was captained by Chakotay, who's disappeared. So she's like, yeah, she's invested in this now. And she ends up thinking that they're terrorists. So she's chasing them down. And there are reasons that they can't get in touch, which I won't tell you. So the chase is on as well.
Okay. Oh, I'm a bit gutted now because I saw the Black Friday deal and I was kind of like, I was having that bit of a thing of like, so many streaming, it's just too much. And I should have just.
It was like, I think it's like £35 for the year.
Yeah, I saw it.
Which is this is all right. Yeah. But also, there's one episode based on what was that test that James Kirk cheated on?
Oh, the Kobayashi Maru.
Kobayashi Maru. So there's basically the kid who's declared himself captain. He's just having a crisis of sort of confidence. And Janeway's like, yeah, you need to try the Kobayashi Maru. He goes in there and he just can't get it, obviously. And then he says to the hologram, the holo suite says, who do you want to crew your ship with? And he goes, just give me your best. And he's got Scotty, Odo, Uhuru. Basically, it's Spock. Basically, it's all the dead people are there. Yeah, right. And when I looked it up after, and I had a feeling, and when I looked it up afterwards, they were voiced by their archived records of their voices in Star Trek.
Wow!
So it was like the ultimate. And the captain of the Kobayashi Maru, whatever it's called, is the guy who voiced the actual captain of it in the episodes.
Right.
But it was just the ultimate homage. And tribute and like salute to all the dead alumni of Star Trek. It was amazing.
Oh, you made me think I'm gonna have to. Now we're in December. I always tend to sort of get like Sky Cinema Channel or something just for the month because it's Christmas. But I feel like I'm gonna have to get Panama Pass because the other thing is, do you know if they've got Blood and Treasure season 2 on there? Because I know it's supposed to be.
Do you know what? I've got it up right now. Let me do a little search. Blood. I think that's the other thing I was thinking. I'm sure Blood and Treasure's on here.
But I know it is in the States, but I don't know if it's come over to the UK.
It is not. Couldn't find Blood and Treasure. Gutted. Yeah, I did that search when I first got it because I was like, oh yeah, Blood and Treasure's on that. Nope.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing. That's part of the reason why I didn't get it because that's one of the shows I really wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's how I sold it to Siobhan as well. I went, yeah, we get this, we've got Star Trek stuff and Blood and Treasure. And then it turns out...
you've just got Star Trek stuff. No, you've got Star Trek stuff. I've got nothing. I'm 35 boys out of pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to do that. Okay, I'll take a look at that, man. Lastly... I want to give a shout out, mate, and it's been cancelled now, which is a shame, to Warrior Nun.
So the weird thing about this is I called home. My father-in-law stayed over for a week, and I remember I called home, see how everyone was doing, and Siobhan was like, "Yeah, I'm just watching Warrior Nun with Dad." I was like, "Are you?" He goes, "Yeah, it's season 2." She goes, "I'm really liking it. We might have to go back and watch season 1 together when you come back."
Oh, okay. So have you watched any of it?
No, I can't remember seeing it and going, "What is this nonsense?" and not giving it a second thought. Wow. I watched the trailer and went, whatever.
What is this nonsense? Well, it's actually the synopsis is pretty to the point. A young woman wakes up in the morgue with inexplicable powers and gets caught up in a battle between good and evil.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
But for me, it's like the whole concept of it is like, it's a secret sect of warrior nuns. You can't really say any more clearer than that, really.
Yeah. That's what it says on the tin.
Yeah, and like one of the characters is called in the first series, isn't it? One of the characters called Shotgun Mary because she carries a shotgun.
It's not a subtle nuance show, is it?
No, but the thing was, so I watched season 1, and after the first couple episodes, he sort of jumped out of it, and I stuck with it. And for me, it took a little while to kind of find its feet, and then it kind of found its feet, and I was kind of like, you know what, I'm actually quite enjoying this. But the second season, for me, is like a prime example of, I think Buffy did it, and Next Gen did it, where someone's gone away and looked at some of the criticisms and the positives as well, and come back and gone, do you know what, we've listened.
And improved it.
And improved, yeah. Because for me, season 2 hit the ground running and didn't stop.
And then they cancelled it.
And that's what I mean. I was kind of like, what do you mean you cancelled it? It was a good solid.
And I'm seeing that coming in from a lot of the places, and you know what I mean.
The good thing that I will say, Monts, is that it's worth watching, because even though it's been cancelled, you do get an end.
Okay.
There's a kind of little, like a post-credit thing. So I will say watch it through the credits as well, because actually in this one, the post-credit thing, I think, given the fact that it's cancelled, you need to watch it, because that just brings it nicely round.
Is that only in the last episode, or does that happen all the time? Or?
It's only in the last episode.
Oh, okay.
You get the post-credit thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it rounded up that particular story. Yes, it left things hanging and stuff like that, but you could easily watch that second season and come out of it feeling like fulfilled. You wouldn't come out of it going, yeah, but I need to know what happens to this and blah, blah, blah. Because I think a lot of those questions do get answered. I almost wish more shows would sort of do that.
Right. Okay.
And I almost go back to that kind of having a season-long arc, and then you round it up. Do you know what I mean? And then if you get cancelled, at least people have had that season-long arc, rather than trying to spin it all out for as long as you can, you know?
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Warrior Nun, man. Get on it.
All right. Well, we started complaining about DC, and we've ended up talking about stuff that's got us really excited. So yeah. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Ooh, to be fair, we weren't really complaining about DC. Nah. It's just I'm genuinely really looking forward to seeing what they say, because I'm interested to see how. I suppose my thing is to put a positive spin as well. I'm interested to see how brave are they going to be.
Yes,
because it is one thing to say that they're doing a younger Superman, but it could be maybe it's a younger Superman set in the 1930s, like a pulp Superman.
That would be great. I'm sure it will happen just like that.
No, I'm sure it won't.
I still want to see the version where the two FBI agents are trying to kill Clark Kent but don't realise he's Superman.
Yeah, that would be tough, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to wrap us up, buddy?
Well, I suppose all that's left to say is Happy Christmas and a Merry New Year, because I don't think we'll get another episode in before Christmas.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. let's be honest.
Be realistic here. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. So have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. I was going to say have a great New Year, but I don't get that concept, because it's kind of like, so does that cover like the whole year then?
Well, yeah, exactly.
So have a great New Year, and I guess we'll see you in 2024. Do you know
have a great New Year's celebration.
There we go. Yeah, have a great New Year's Eve and great New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And remember, wherever you're going, there's probably frost. I was trying out something, it didn't work. I was trying out.
I don't know. Sometimes people need to be told.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, so I did see a kid take a slab the other day because he's running in the frost, and he actually literally said, "Look at me," just before he kind of slipped over, and I was like, "You see,
look at me. Why? For comedy value?
Because it's coming."
So until next year, what do I usually say here? I just went blank. Oh, well, you know the score. Let us know what you think of what we've said. If you agree with us, if you want to check out what we've talked about, and if you do, if you liked it, let us know. If you hated it, also let us know and tell us why. You could do that by emailing us at thegeeks@geeksyndicate.co.uk, or finding us on all the social medias under the name Geek Syndicate. So until next year, Geek Syndicate, we out.